Muffin's experience has a level of time. The little spikes can take extra damage.
But he makes it through.
Wow. Don't save anywhere for it.
Oh, Muffin. Wilson.
What are you doing? No, what are you doing?
No, still. Oh, freeze. Oh, I'm saving him again.
Guys, I hope he remembers that top left keystone because that's dash. That's huge.
Oh, he forgot it. He doesn't remember. Oh, no.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to another exciting singles match between Dr. Tuin versus Infinite for the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer Tournament. My screen name is Covert Muffin, but I could not cast this match alone, so joining me today for this one is going to be none other than Vooligen. What's up, Voola?
I'm doing pretty okay, Muffin. Just coming off, another good race. There's lots of good ones available today, all of which you can find out on our schedule at speedgaming.org/Ori. But this one should be pretty interesting, Muffin. It is a 0-1 record match from the second round of the Swiss stage. And Infinite and Dr. Tuin both taking a loss last week, but they'll be looking to seek some revenge here. And I'll be interested to see what's going to happen. What do we know about these runners, Muffin?
Well, Dr. Tuin definitely is a much newer runner to the scene. We haven't really heard much about him, and he was literally picking up the randomizer just before the tournament actually kicked off with the first round, but has been really displaying some very advanced strats and also very good decision making as he's worked his way through the seed. So he's one of the runners I have the most anticipation to see what he can bring to the table today, excuse me. But why don't you tell us a bit about Infinite?
Well, Infinite, has been around for a fair bit of time, but as far as a randomizer goes, it is also, kind of one that you consider a little bit less experienced, specifically in the randomizer, but that does not at all mean that he is any slouch. Maybe he hasn't played thousands and thousands of seeds, but he's played his fair share, and he should be able to bring some interesting stuff to the table. And the cool thing about Infinite is he's kind of the originator of the controller double bash technique. Before we kind of, implemented the free double bash in the randomizer, Infinite came up with a way to make them doable on controller that, in fact, at least one other person I know, Richard, makes use of. But we will be getting started here, Muffin, and we'll, make that typical little, play that little guessing game. What do you think is the first progression here in this seed tonight?
Gumun Seal, Forlorn Teleporter, and then the skills to be able to get through it.
Oh my God, Muffin,
it's going to happen,
please.
man. It has to happen once.
Literally, please.
Most likely it should be a keystone, but we could see some crazy stuff with like a swap teleporter or wall interaction. Nah, it's just going to be a keystone. So left glades most likely is going to be coming into the picture pretty early on for our runners.
Yeah, not a huge surprise. This is, of course, the most common opening that occurs. I believe it's about a 67% chance or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's pretty, it's pretty good because it gets you access to a whole bunch of locations over towards the wall jump tree. They're just totally free to access. That is to say, no skill is required. So there's the second keystone, and they will have access to left glades immediately. But after they pick up Spirit Flame, there are still 2 pickups that they can collect, Muffin, before they go through that door, and we'll see if they get something else there.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, like the whole idea of progression. Like the moment they get those 2 keystones, the logic just immediately opens up a large portion of the left glades area, most likely to stick something like wall interaction, but it could also be something kooky like a swap teleporter, which opens up a new section of the map, because playing on these 2D Metroidvanias, progression can come in either resources, the ability to travel to different places, or even skills which allow us to reach certain pickups. But looks like Infinite taking a damage there, so without a health pickup is going to be a little bit spooky for checking that underwater swim. There is a flower point where you can get another health, but just a 3rd keystone so far for the next pickup.
Yeah, this fake flippers check is basically one that nearly everyone wants to make without having clean water available, and they get a 4th keystone as well. Without having clean water available, you are not expected by the randomizer. We'll often describe that as in logic. This is not in logic for you to get this, but Both runners being able to swim down to it, take a little bit of damage, just boosting down along the way, and they both claim a health cell. So that's a really nice pickup to get early on. They're both able to make use of Alt R to escape the water and come away with full health here.
Yeah, it's having the 4th health early is just such a saving grace, especially for the mid game when you're approaching areas with 3 damage spikes and what have you. Then you get a little bit of extra chance for survivability, but also not surprised to see them holding on to that for that reason. But you can actually swim out of the water if you think ahead fast enough and recognize that that is a health cell or something like a mega health. Then you just like swim right out. But alt-Ring is definitely the safer bet because you only have like a few tenths of a second to make up your mind about that.
Well, Muffin, so far we have literally only seen keystones. Every in logic pickup has been a keystone. There's another one. 6 straight keystones. Both runners went ahead and threw the keystones in the Spirit Caverns door to just go ahead and open that up. So they'll be heading there before too long, but not without any skills. I gotta guess that there's one on this XP coming up, or there's one at the wall jump tree, because otherwise, where the heck are they even going?
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, wall jump is on the table now for our runners. So hopefully they know to just go down to the wall jump tree, because making the play for Spirit Caverns, you can just actually just backtrack the way you fall down. And it's a little bit quicker, especially if Dr. Tuin can kind of like work this intentional level up. But Dr. Tuin looking for a little bit of safety here, just running down, picking up the energy crystal. No, not going to drop the save. And instead is going to opt to push the block, whereas Infinite was able to do the damage boost. So a little bit of know-how with that sort of technique is going to get Infinite just a tiny bit of time over his opponent.
Yeah, and he's going to collect another infinite number of keystones, as he is now up to, I think that's like 9 total keystones that have been acquired so far.
Yeah,
so he's currently at 5. He will be able to go out the top of Spirit Caverns when he finishes up with this wall jump tree. This is getting a little bit ridiculous, Muffin. We've seen some keystone starved seeds, but this one is a little bit silly.
Yeah, so there's some interesting plays here that our runners can actually do with base wall jump and then also enough keystones, right? So they can either make the play for Charge Flame Tree by going up and over in the Hollow Grove TP, but oh my goodness, there is Charge Flame itself, so they actually don't even need to open up that key door. They can just go immediately to Charge Flame Tree, and we see Infinite doing that play.
Yeah, this also does open up, in addition to wall jump, opening up Blackroot Burrows, which I'm sure both runners will want to take a trip to pretty soon. This does allow them to say, well, we can go to the Charge Flame Tree, but we'll probably, with all these keystones, also want to go up through the top of Spirit Caverns. And then that opens up the entire right side of the map, Muffin.
Yeah, so this is kind of crazy because now progression has completely opened up like Swamp and Hollow Grove and Grotto. But wow, Sunstone find for Infinite. That's actually going to be a really nice pickup also for Tuin, because that is just right on the board. So maybe this could be a prelude to another Horu seed, because the seeds have not been very kind so far in this tournament.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's it's both a blessing and a curse to get early. The blessing, of course, you don't have to worry about farming for the Sunstone later. Right. It's already in your inventory. And as you mentioned, the curse being, well, maybe you actually have to go to Mount Horu. Nobody wants. We do get the map 1 check from Dr. Tuin, and it is just XP. Infinite will almost certainly be heading there shortly on his way to Spirit Caverns. That seems like the play that he is lining up here, while Dr. Tuin is now heading to Spirit Caverns himself. I believe he did not make that detour to the Charge Flame Tree just yet.
No, not quite. He actually ended up just backtracking using his wall jump skill to climb up the walls to get back into this area. And I actually kind of like that play because he had to backtrack anyway for the Mapstone turn-in, and then he can just exit out of Spirit Caverns right here and go to Sea Flame. But also we see Infinite just like on the same sort of level of ground. So it'll be kind of interesting when they meet up and decide to go to Blackroot Burrows together, like which route ended up being a little bit quicker.
It looks like it's going to probably come out to mostly a wash. So far for Tuin, just 55 XP and a keystone. 2 keystones located in Spirit Caverns, and he is actually going to not bother going out the top. He is going to go ahead and drop... Oh, that's a rough death.
Yeah, that's tricky, like taking a death there. But yeah, I really like this realization from Tuin. All he found up there was just some base resources and like 2 keystones, and he doesn't really need that right now. If he's keystone starved later, he can just dupe, and then most likely with all the pickups he's going to be checking on the right side of the map, he's going to make up for those lost resources. So instead of wasting time just going back and checking all of those again, he's going to say, no, I should just go to Charge Flame Tree immediately. And now he's going to find that Sunstone pickup as well as collecting his second tree.
Indeed, a mega health from this plant when he manages to collect the energy necessary to blow it up. I really liked when Infinite picked this plant up because he was so excited for the Sunstone. He pressed Alt T a whole bunch of times. Alt T, the key combination that shows their last pickup, and he pressed it so many times. He picked up the plant, and we didn't get to see what that was for like a solid 5 or 10 seconds or something. It was pretty funny.
Wow. And ooh, look at this. Infinite actually making the play. He's going to come up and grab the Hollow Grove TP, and maybe he's going to make a play for Spider Sack area, saying, yeah, I know the right side is open to me because we've had access to Sea Flame Tree. We have enough Keystones to get up here. We have Wall Interaction and Charge Flame. That's all you really need to be able to get to Hollow Grove. And maybe checking some of these extra Valley pickups. But, oh, look at this. Tuin's also heading back to the left, Lula.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, I kind of expected, based on the way he'd set himself up by doing the left side first and then doubling back to the Charge Flame Tree, I thought there was a good chance he was actually going to go Alt-R to BRB. I really like this play right here where he is making use of his knowledge of having a Mega Health to just say, I'm going to damage boost all the way to this long flippers pickup, as we often call it. In fact, that's all he was checking, Muffin, so he is heading to BRB right now.
Wow, that's an interesting play. It's like kind of a power play because no clean water, so that's not in logic. But something like late game could have been stashed down there, and that could have given him a huge advantage. But speaking of advantages, Infinite is also going to get some extra checks over here that Tuin is not. So Infinite, first, just finding another energy cell, 2 energy is really nice. And then, yeah, making the play to Alt-R. He got Hollow Grove TP, so he's going to be able to teleport back up there if indeed he makes that Spider Sack area play later on, and going to just join Tuin in Blackroot Burrows.
Yeah, I think this is the play that makes the most sense from the perspective of, like, if you get something important in Blackroot Burrows, it can make that entire right side of the map traversal way faster. You know, walking slowly with only wall jump and charge flame through the entire spider area and through Hollow Grove and through Swamp and through Grotto, all just to get to the double jump tree, which is basically the next place that most people are going to want to go at this point.
Right.
It's a huge pain, Muffin. It's slow as heck.
And I really like this decision-making, too, from Infinite and Tuin also, just recognizing that they are 1 tree away from their first clue. Having that first clue and that knowledge advantage is really powerful. And yeah, just slightly unfortunate death from Tuin, but with a save nearby, he just has to run back and collect this orb before trying to get over these spikes. Being down at 3 health, these spikes down here deal 3 damage, and so it's a 1-hit K.
Yeah, these the spikes in particular right here are notorious in the all-skill speedrun, which, of course, is just the most common category of this game. That is speedrun. It's a huge pain. It sucks for everyone. In fact, thanks to that death, Infinite managing to catch up on Tuin inside BRB. They both collect the map stone from that awkward to collect XP, and so they're both going to have access to check the map stone. If they do the Raziel No area, they'll be able to get that map 2 information.
Yeah, and here we go. So they're both heading back into BRB, and it's going to be interesting to see if they do opt to do that boulder escape. And right now, that is not in logic because they don't have something to either jump over the boulder or to be able to outpace it with something like dash. So that being said, that could just come on the board if they do end up finding that. But Infinite now is going to be heading over and checking this EXP pickup up here. So on the left, we're going to see exactly what this is. Explosion power upgrade. That's actually very useful with Charge Flame.
Yeah, actually, with Charge Flame and just Explosion power upgrade, I don't remember the exact amount of benefit there, but I believe that might be enough to do things like check the dash plant or other nearby plants, but I forget exactly. I know Charge Flame Burn does have that effect. It's the 3rd ability in the red tree. But Explosion power upgrade, you just don't as often get this early in a seed. It'll be interesting to see if that does make any difference for something that Infinite's able to check, or Dr. Tuin. I mean, if either of them had knowledge that it was able to be used in that way, I would guess it would be Infinite.
It'll be interesting to see. I actually don't know that either, so we'll see if either of them make the play. And nicely done from Tuin, just going to place that orb on the stationary platform. Buys you just infinite amount of time to be able to jump up there to grab the lever, and doesn't really waste you too much time.
Infinite. I get it.
Yeah, it's his opponent.
Yeah. All right, so we're getting the The cutscene skip from both runners, and Infinite's going to do the minor sequence break, not very difficult one to jump over those crushers. That's actually one of probably the earliest ones that we figured out when we started doing randomizers that you can do that.
That is a really powerful pickup for Infinite. He just got the Grotto TP, and having already accessed Hollow Grove TP, he could just at any point in time make the play for Valley Entrance again, or make the play for Spider Sack area. But Tuin picking up that Grotto TP says, that teleporter takes me closer to the next tree in progression, therefore I should not go up and do Spider Sack area. So it could be very, very powerful for Infinite if he ends up finding an important skill in Spider Sack.
Yeah, we'll see whether Infinite decides to skip out on the Spider Sack area and just go directly to Grotto. It definitely makes that travel time a lot less. You're seeing both Tuin and Infinite making use of different versions of save glitches. Tuin doing the rekindle skip on that lever to make it so that this door forcibly opens forever. Infinite actually carrying the save anywhere all the way to the boulder chase area to be able to despawn the kill box on the boulder. He collected 40 experience from the XP near that, so nothing particularly special, and not really seeing any skills or anything like that show up in BRB either, Muffin.
Yeah, and that save anywhere is actually really nice because it both saves you in energy and keeps your save off of cooldown if you find some form of verticality at that EXP pickup. So you can actually just end up skipping this cutscene that we're going to see Infinite maybe do. Oh no, he's going to come over and check the map zone first. And that saves like a second or something like that.
Just an ability cell. So
all right.
I have a pretty strong feeling that we're heading to the double jump tree pretty soon from that Grotto teleporter. We did get our first clue, Muffin, and it turned out to just be the Sunstone clue. And I mean, we know where that is. So
oh, yeah.
We didn't really need the help.
Thanks, game. Yeah, and so Infinite's going to take an intentional death and then teleport directly over to that Grotto TP. And finding the map zone in here is actually nice because then they can also turn into map zone when they head into Moon Grotto. But Infinite with a little bit of an advantage here, having 2 energy going into Moon Grotto. He could make that play to just end up going to the 2 energy door that's by the bridge cutscene. And we see him starting a save anywhere, be able to expend that energy. Yep, and Dr. Tuin looks like he's going to be heading over now, maybe going to check Valley entry and do Spider Sack area. Interesting.
All right, so we'll see how this play ends up working out. In our last race, we did see that the play to the Spider Sack area. Wow.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
Well, that is bash immediately, Muffin, coming from the vanilla water vein location. So the play to Grotto teleporter instantly paying off for Infinite, and hopefully Tuin will get there before too long.
Yeah, and so how long? How long is it going to take Tuin to be able to make use of that teleporter to go down and check that pickup? He might be able to get a second energy here, which will help his exploration in Grotto considerably and be able to clear the left side. And I'm sure Tuin will make that play. I'm pretty sure he's knowledgeable of that. But Infinite, getting the early lead into Grotto and being able to destroy these plants, nothing much, just some resources. Ability cells are nice. And opts to not do some bashing of a spider shot. And he finds Charge Jump Rule from the 3rd Mapstone turn-in. Oh my goodness, what is this seed, dude?
Yeah, that is a very strong combo of skills to find this quickly. He is actually, with Charge Jump in hand, he's just going to immediately double back to the left. So that's a pretty clever decision. I think it's going to pay off pretty well as far as just making sure that he gets as many checks in as he can without orphaning too many. Collects an energy cell, so that's 3 already. Will not opt to take a poison water swim there, but we will see potentially he might try to do an energy glitch on this door to be able to check the redirect area down here.
Yeah, that would be pretty intense. Finds a health cell in the plant, which is nice. Tuin on the right, finding his second energy cell, and he's going to go for this wall jump trick up here. With only wall jump, I believe it's not in the logic, but with something like glide and wall jump. Oh, it is, with just wall jump. I thought you needed something like glide.
For that particular one, you actually don't, thanks to that wall there. And so he does manage to check it. And it is actually just 115 XP, so no big deal.
Nice. All right, but Tuin is also going to be grabbing this teleporter. Would be interesting to see if he just opts to end up teleporting out. But wait, is Infinite? Oh my god, Infinite's going for the save drop on the left. So keep your eyes peeled on the left. He's going to start a save anywhere here. And by pushing this block down and then like jumping immediately, he's going to take a death, but fall in. Oh, yeah. And try and get the block down there survive the laser. And he gets it! And with charge up, he's going to be able to check it, Forlorn TP, and experience.
Well, your favorite TP finally showing up here, and Infinite actually says he actually restores the backup. He doesn't want to have to Alt R, and he doesn't care about the Forlorn TP enough, so he says, I'm restoring my backup save, and I'm just going to leave, and that can wait for another day. So no Forlorn TP for Infinite.
Just you wait, Infinite. I swear you'll have to go back there for Forlorn TP before the seed is over. Forlorn will have its revenge. But yeah, Tuin making the play for his Spider Sack area.
Yep, he is heading over there and going to make use of Charge Flame with, I believe he also got the Explosion Power upgrade from the roof, so his Charge Flames are free. Thanks to Explosion Power upgrade gives you a half energy discount, as Infinite gets a little bit munched by the Crushers, but it's not too bad. He has a save.
You need one more energy, Tuin? Tuin's going to do the intended level, or intentional level up here. Yeah, okay,
this
good.
Is very nice. Yeah, his XP lined up perfectly. He calculated that to make sure it would work, and this should be pretty good. What are you doing, Tuin? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so killing the spider is going to drop some experience. Put 2 energy in the door, level up, you get 2 more energy, put 2 more energy in the door, and it opens. And it is just a map stone. All right.
Well, you know, that's going to get him closer to that third map stone charge jump, which he'll probably pick up pretty soon, Muffin, from the Hollow Grove map coming up in just a few moments.
Yeah, that'll be really nice, especially going through Hollow Grove, that extra verticality. It opens up a pickup or two. And nothing much else, just some couple of resources in Spider Sack. Infinite, on the left, did the Grotto mini-boss, and for his troubles was granted a 4th energy. So that's going to be really nice for him as he's going to be progressing through the seed. No longer has to do these like intentional level ups or really cool speed strats to be able to get 4 energy. He just has that as a capacity now.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, that 4 energy door in Spider Sack not yielding a vital item like it seems to in nearly every other seed.
Yeah.
So he was able to get away with that. And both runners also coming up with just an absolute ton of ability cells. So they're both going to be able to pretty easily get access to things like triple jump, ultra defense by the end of the seed. So that could potentially be very, very nice depending on, of course, you have to get double jump for triple jump to matter, but also, of course, depending on their health count towards the end. Right now, we are seeing Infinite sitting on 6 and Tuin on 4.
Yeah, all right. So Infinite's going to be activating double jump tree. Tuin on the right, just finding charge jump, using that mouse cursor to communicate with us, and double jump at double jump tree, the vanilla skill itself. Man, wow. Grotto's where it's at this seed.
I mean, you want to talk about troll placements. I mean, it's a randomizer, right? So everything's random. But, you know, in the last seed, just a little bit earlier on Speed Gaming 3, we saw Glide being at the Wilhelm XP in Valley of the Wind, which is pretty rough. This one's not rough. It's just kind of silly. It's like, come on, really? You're going to put it there, of all places? But that's going to be good for Infinite. He's going to have double jump. It's a very, very useful movement tech. And he will also soon probably have access to triple jumps as well, thanks to the 8 million ability cells.
Yeah, and Tuin doing quick work of the Hollow Grove area to just check a bunch of pickups, nice density there. The play I'd really like to see him make right now is just to grab this teleporter and teleport straight to Grotto and go towards that tree. But it looks like he's going to be saving first to get energy, and we'll see what play he makes. Now he's going to go most likely into Swamp to check some more pickups.
So this farm, I mean, it makes total sense. It sucks when it doesn't pay off. But when it does pay off, it's really, really good. He's actually heading to the left, so it's actually not going to be much of a farm. He's going to just get into Grotto, but instead of teleporting there, he's going to be able to check a bunch of pickups along the way. And he knows that a damage boost is required to get through there with the skills he has, so he goes ahead and just jumps off the ceiling to take one. And he does get rewarded with Wind Restored here. Not going to be useful just yet, Muffin, but when he gets Glide, he'll be a big fan.
Yeah, for sure. And now Infinite also in the Death Gauntlet area, but Sorrow TP on the right from Tuin, and Swamp Teleporter for Infinite on the left. So teleporters ahoy, as our runners are going to have some nice transversal across the Forest of Nibble.
Yeah, that will make particularly the Sorrow Teleporter is such a great pickup to get.
Oh, yeah.
With Charge Jump in hand, you know, really just climb on top of that. They already have access to Bash. Tuin will get it in a little bit when he gets down to Grotto, to Gumo's hideout, that is. So having access to Bash and Charge Jump, that entire access to the Charge Jump tree via the teleporter should be very straightforward. And Infinite collecting it now, so basically just traversing the sections that Tuin just did a moment ago. And Infinite's even going to make use of Bash to head over into this segregated area near the swamp access. And he'll check a couple pickups here as well.
Yeah, I really like this play from Infinite too, because he has these skills required to be able to get entry into Stomp Tree area from this point. This lower route is very, very nice and a bit more direct than the upper route, where you have to like manipulate the frog around with Bash because he doesn't have Stomp. So he's just going to come in here, break the floor, probably make a check on this pickup, see if it's anything. No, it's just an ability cell, so he's going to quit and reload and then enter Swamp to make progress to his next tree. And that's a very good play.
Tuin's even going to go ahead and check below the Grotto Teleporter, which is an area that you often don't see too early. For whatever reason, it's just kind of not in the meta for the most part. But Tuin's going to go ahead and make use of Charge Jump to get up here. And of course, you can also check the plant. 9 entire experience for his troubles, and for the plant, it's an ability cell. Yet another one of those. So he'll take a intentional death and head out here, and soon he'll be getting Bash from the Vanilla Water Vein location.
Yeah, here we go. Probably just refilling his energy, going to start a save anywhere as he's going to be heading on down. So he can open up the Glide Vault 2 energy door, as we call it, and then also be able to glitch out the cutscene. No, he has 3 energy. Never mind. He doesn't have to start the save anywhere up there.
For some reason, had a charge flame charge there. I think maybe wrong input type of deal. He does get his keystone from Glide Vault. I think we saw Infinite check this earlier, and an ability cell on the bottom. So many ability cells, Muffin.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually really, really insanely nice, especially because we know double jump is on the table. So having triple jump, even for that mid game, is actually very, very, very nice ability to have. As Tuin now gets his Bash in the right-hand corner of your screen and is going to be progressing on through in order to fill out the rest of Moon Grotto and check all those pickups.
Meanwhile, Infinite claiming tree number 5, so he is up to a pretty good count so far. 24 minutes into this seed, which had a fairly slow start. He was able to collect number 5. Number 6 is going to get him one of those remaining 2 clues. Of course, the first clue came for the Sunstone, which we literally just stumbled upon near the Charge Flame tree. So going to hope that the second clue, or at least the runners will hope that the second clue is going to be the Water Vein, but we'll see.
Yeah, and so this is kind of an interesting position for Infinite Vula, because he can decide to go left side right now, which looks like that might be the play he's making, unless he just checks this and then goes to Spider Sack area to look for that Stomp progression. Or he could just opt to instead head on down and... Oh, but that is Climb. All right, wow.
That's wow, that's very close to go mode then already for Infinite as far as skills are concerned, because with Climb plus Charge Jump, he has the opportunity to break a lot of those floors that are kind of a stumbling point if you don't have Stomp. And again, as mentioned earlier, with Climb plus Charge Jump plus Bash and that Sorrow Teleporter, he's got access to the Charge Jump tree, which is one of the diciest areas without Glide.
Yeah, and Double Jump just makes it completely sure that he can get through that area without taking any damage, which is really, really, really nice. And so instead, he's going to opt to do a little bit of a sequence break here and use this Frankie and some nice bash angles to be able to get him to stomp on the peg for him and open up his way from Hollow Grove to Valley to check that glide tree.
Yeah, and after opening it up, callously throwing the Frankie directly into the spikes, he angled that very precisely. He knew what he was doing. So unfortunately, our Frankie friend taking a bit of a death there, and that's going to cost the Frankie a little bit of time, but eventually he'll respawn, and then he might be able to go about his business.
Yep, saving the forest by killing all of the inhabitants. That's what I like to see out of Infinite. But yeah, here we go. He's going to be heading on up, and then maybe opting to check the Stomp Cell. No, it decides not to. You can just... I believe the vanilla way is to actually just use Climb and Charge Jump to be able to do that pickup. But you can actually also stomp on the bird's head. But anyways, as a race update, Infinite's almost to Glide Tree, having that slight tree advantage over his opponent, having 2 more. Whereas Dr. Tuin is now continuing to dig through the Moon Grotto and has Charge Jump and Bash and is going to be making his way down to Double Jump Tree, where he will acquire Double Jump itself.
Yeah, I don't dislike Tuin's play. Ow, I do dislike that. That's rough. I'm sure he dislikes it too. But yeah, I don't think it's too bad to be pretty comprehensive at this point, checking as much stuff as you can, because there's a ton of stuff to be had. You're still kind of low on health, but also Water Vein could be down here, and if it is, I mean, you're gonna get it eventually. Many other skills could be down here. He could get Stomp here. He could get, Climb here. He could get Glide here. So checking all this, being pretty comprehensive on the right side of the map is usually not a bad play. Not necessarily guaranteed to be the right play, but might help. And hey, there's that second clue muffin.
All right, yeah, so we see Gumonseal. I believe that was in Ginso. So Forlorn could be in Logic if we end up finding Water Vein, but that being said, if we find Water Vein, we're not going to want to go to Forlorn because that's go mode.
Well, as Infinite heads into Sorrow, and he's almost got enough points to get his triple jump, you got to think, if it is in Logic, Infinite actually abandoned the Forlorn teleporter pickup, whereas Tuin was able to keep it because when he went in, he already had enough energy by that point. So it'll be interesting to see if there is something in Forlorn. Maybe Tuin ends up heading over there and he's able to pick it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to rack my brain for a really bizarre instance where, because I mean, Gumonseal is in Ginso, right? So it can't. How can it gate something? I mean, a skill, but they already have all the skills they need to be able to do this.
So looking over at Infinite Muffin, sorry to totally change the train.
Oh no! Oh please.
But I'm looking over at him, and he is having a little bit of a rough time here. I think he forgot that he has Climb, or that that Climb and Charge Jump are the combination that he wants, and so it's causing him a little bit of trouble. But he is able to make it over here. This last little jump here is going to be kind of the annoyance. He's thinking that he has the damage boost with Charge Jump here off of these spikes to get the breakage here, and unfortunately he could just wall Charge Jump, but I think he's forgotten, but he makes it through.
Yeah, nicely done. It's so easy to forget what skills you have, especially in a race scenario, but going to be grabbing that Sorrow tree. So he only has 2 more clues before he finds out exactly where Water Vein is on the map, and that is going to be Light Grenade tree and Climb tree for the ones that he has to acquire. As now Tuin is going to be heading on over into the swamp area, most likely looking to get access to Stomp Tree and check some pickups on the way.
Yeah, he was waving his mouse around the Water Vein as Gumo carried it around. I think he's thinking come on, just give it to me, dude. Just give it to me right now. So I guess this is our first check of these pickups here to the outer swamp area. But Infinite, for his part, he is in he's in full go mode, basically. He's just saying, I'm going to do all the trees. So he's immediately going to do this Frankie Kite using Bash over the top here. He does throw 1 extra Bash in there. And he remembered he has Climb. Perfect. That's good timing before you have to do the crappy thing.
Yeah, it's amazing because that double bash one can be really, really tricky as well. Looks like he had a really good setup though, so he's going to be able to do it. But now he has to get past this laser. This is the tricky part, but he looks like he is going to be familiar and comfortable. Hopefully he doesn't spend too many ability points doing this because he needs to not get lower percent up here. But yeah, he still has 1 left over and so no problem. But now the next trick is going to be ending up getting up top here without going through the dash area. And nice, just doing some double bashes on the Baneling is going to get up no problem. Nice showcase from Infinite, getting that first try.
Speaking of showcases, we've got the Swamp entry coming on 2 inside, and he is making great use of that projectile to be able to break both of the barriers getting in. Actually, he could have used Charge Jump on the second barrier, but when you're doing this trick, you don't often think I only need to do 1 of the 2 barriers. So not a big deal at all, and he is able to get into Swamp, and he'll claim his Stomp Tree in the near future. But at this point, Infinite's kind of running away with it. And it's not even coming down to skill advantage anymore. It's just nothing that Tuin so comprehensively checked in the right side of the map actually yielded anything, and so it's really going to hurt him unless that last clue for the Water Vein ends up being, I don't know, in Grove or Swamp or something.
Yeah, this is the really powerful aspect of entering Lumberjack mode really early in a seed, which means that all you want to do is push for trees, either to unlock a clue or just to finish out a seed, right? And so Infinite being able to just get access to that really early in the seed has been able to make this leeway and get a tree advantage over his opponent. And now all he has to do is go into Misty, check that tree, get the clue for Water Vein, and just start his dig for the dungeon.
Yep, having all the trees in hand except the climb tree and the bash tree. Bash, of course, being blocked by the water vein, but once he gets that climb tree, he gets that last clue. He will find out where the water vein is, and then we'll see. One thing we don't know is whether the water vein is potentially blocked by Stomp or Grenade, and that is something we're not going to find out until after that tree. So, and in fact, well after that tree, because they'll have to do some farming. So that'll be, kind of a tense thing for both runners, not knowing whether or not that skill difference is going to matter.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Vula. And now we see Infinite going through, and I really like this play from him. He's just taking his time, checking all of these pickups on the way, because if he leaves one pickup behind and he gets that Water Vein and Misty clue, he ends up having to either run the risk of saying, okay, I hope it's in the second half of Misty, so I'm going to go through that and check those pickups, or for alt-Ring and then having to backtrack and check some pickups.
Oh, wow, Muffin, that is an incredibly costly death for Infinite. He did not save the entirety of that area of Misty, and so that sends him all the way back to the Valley Teleporter, which is just, that's very unfortunate. That's kind of the thing. Sometimes you get into a false sense of security when you're in an area that you feel pretty confident navigating, and then you take one of those deaths, and it's just like, man, did I really just do that?
Yeah, that's really rough. And this is like why I like to say that saving is a skill in Randomizer, especially when you have enough energy like this, but just taking the extra like 1 to 2 to 3 seconds to just drop that save down. Because one of the biggest time losses in every single Randomizer seed is the time loss from backtracking. And so this is either from revisiting areas, from having not had a skill in time to be able to check all the pickups, or from just taking deaths like that, not having a save to go back to.
This section of Misty is really rough without more jumps as well. And Infinite, unfortunately, when he skipped his cutscenes for the grenade tree, he actually spent all of his remaining ability points. So he does not have enough points to get the next ability in his blue tree, which is triple jump. He's right next to it. Just can't quite get it. He's got 1 ability point now. So we'll see if he acquires it. Meanwhile, Tuin heading to the left side of the map, he claims climb. Again, not having Stomp, so he's going to have to do the same sequence break here, but, he's a bunch of minutes behind Infinite right now, so it's not a great position for him at the moment.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Tuin also decides to make the Sorrow play, right? Just like going into Sorrow and grabbing Charge Jump Tree, alt-Ring out, and then using the Sorrow TP to get access to Valley. That's another alternative for him, but it looks like he is going to be doing the same sort of a thing and using the Frankie to stomp this peg as well.
And we're fast approaching getting that information about the water vein's location. And, as we do, there's one more thing to think about, and this is Forlorn. Again, we talked about it a little bit ago when we said, no, it can't be in Forlorn.
No, it can't.
Okay, actually, that's great information for them that I didn't process in my brain until just now. But yeah, they both know that the water vein cannot be in Forlorn, and therefore the Forlorn teleporter, which they actually ended up both skipping, Tuin actually died after collecting it, so he doesn't have it either. It's totally irrelevant. They will never need to go there.
Yeah, so for the viewers, the reason why this is the case is that you need both, or if you get Forlorn teleporter, you need Gumon Seal in order to be able to get access to Logic Path for Water Vein to be in Forlorn. However, we know Gumon Seal is in Ginso. You need Water Vein to get access into Ginso. Therefore, there isn't a scenario where Water Vein can be in Forlorn.
I'm seeing Infinite have slight problems here in Misty, just a couple deaths on his way through. This is a rough section, again, without having triple jump. These spikes are very damaging. It's not particularly easy, and you don't get your jumps back when you damage boost off the spikes either, so that's not particularly fun either. But we're coming up on the tree now. With Charge Jump in hand, Infinite will break right through that floor. And here it is, Muffin. We're going to get that clue now.
All right, give it to me, Horu. Let's go. Give me the Horu clue. And
Swamp.
It's in Swamp. Oh, Grenade Gate galore. Also Clean Water galore. Man, that could be brutal.
So there's 2 grenade blocked pickups in Swamp. There's the ability cell in the top left of the area where the Ginso tree door is, which is a little bit inconvenient to get to, but shouldn't pose too much of a problem for Infinite. Except he's kind of lacking skills, so actually it might. He can't grenade jump to it. He can't bash grenade to it. He doesn't even have dash. This is going to be interesting. There's a couple places, Muffin, where this could be skill blocked in some way.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Bula. And so, like, as an alternative, he could just do a really long double bash chain with a spider shot from Hollow Grove to be able to get access. I believe the spider shot doesn't despawn, so he can make a play like that. But the real question is, please, dear goodness, where is Clean Water? Where is Grenade? Because those also could just be really scary moments. Like this one pickup here, you need Grenade in order to be able to check it. You just do. Luckily, our runners know that there is a guaranteed Grenade pickup at the end of Forlorn, but they don't have Glide. So checking that pickup is going to be stupidly hard to do if it ends up being in play.
Now, the good news for Infinite is at 9 out of 10 trees and already being on the hunt for his water vein, he is in a very, very good position here. Tuin still has 3 trees to go to catch up to the same point. And so Infinite's going to have a very significant head start on this water vein search. And Tuin did check pretty much everything in Swamp as far as we know, other than the water pickups and the grenade pickups. So if it is one of those, they're both in the same boat as far as being completely screwed.
Yeah. And here we go. Tuin making the play also in Valley to go check the bird tree right now. Oh, no, just activating that cutscene to get up into Sorrow. So he's going to be going through Sorrow in the direct path, maybe just forgetting that he has Sorrow TP. No checking a pickup? Energy cell.
We're actually going to Misty. I think he might have remembered, hey, I have Sorrow TP. I don't need to do this crap yet.
Oh, you know what? Maybe he's going upwards to be able to get over the crevice to get to Misty. Maybe that was. I don't know. We can ask him about it later.
Oh, baby. We're seeing the damage swim from Infinite. This is going to be tough. He does not have the health. Yeah, no, he realized that he doesn't have the health and he doesn't have the ability points to get to Ultra Defense. So, oof.
Yeah. So he does have climb, charge, jump, triple jump. So he could check the energy set. Oh no, you already checked it by double bashing the fish. So something he could do is do a save drop in the water. I don't remember the exact setup to do that, but that gets you down like most of the damage down there so far. So that could be a way that he ends up checking that. But instead, going to be taking the spider shot on a magical adventure.
What?
I don't know where this is going.
Okay, there's this. Oh, well, okay, it's lost.
All right.
There is the stomp floor next to the keystone door that leads to stomp. Oh. He might be trying for that. There's a couple alternative options to break it, and he has access to none of them. He could charge jump and then dash to carry the charge jump effect into it, but he doesn't have dash. He could charge jump, throw a grenade onto it, and bash the grenade, and that would give him the effect of doing it, except he doesn't have grenade.
Yeah.
So he has no alternatives there.
Another way he can actually do it is if he starts a save anywhere, and then he charge jumps up, and then falls down, and then you can do a terror break on it. And you use the downward fall velocity in order to throw you into 4, and that also breaks it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of weird and not something I imagine he knows about. So I think the spider shot is a really nice alternative.
Well, let's not get crazy with words like really nice. it exists, that's for sure.
All right.
There's not too many more obstacles for him, I guess, as far as the spider shot, as long as he's good on his double bashes. Now, the thing is, I think Infinite, because he has the controller method that he invented, I think he just always uses that. And so he dropped a couple double bashes as a result of that, but now he's good. He gets in, and it's the Grove teleport.
Oh no, that is not the pickup he was looking for, Bula. And now he's just going to have to try and think of something else to do. I don't know, man. I guess just like maybe farming up to Ultra Defense or something would be the play here, because he has enough health once he gets Ultra Defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has to go farming. He's got to hope either I find clean water like immediately, or I just find a bunch of ability cells, because there's 33 ability cells in the game. You're gonna find them.
Yeah, for sure. And so now he's going to be heading over to the Glades area, where Dr. Tuin actually was able to get that clue, and now he's actually going to continue in Misty to check the further pickups in here. And there's a good number of pickups in here, so maybe he will find something like Grenade or something to help him in his search for Water Vein. But he also doesn't have that clue yet because he doesn't
correct.
have enough trees.
He's at 7 trees now, considering climb, and he didn't.
He does. He has feather tree.
I think he didn't, right?
He does have feather tree. I remember it being destroyed.
Yeah, that's right. Because so this is interesting. Infinite, of course, is going to make as much as efficient of a farm as he can possibly make of all of these remaining pickups. I don't think he's been through most of this area, so this is like the best case scenario actually for Tuin, because he has farmed all of this stuff, so he actually knows there's not really anything to find, whereas Infinite did not. He skipped it earlier on, and he really hasn't gotten much of anything that speeds this up a lot. Bash is really the only thing, but it doesn't make him that much faster, nothing.
Yeah, and Tuin takes a pretty costly death. Recognizing that, not wanting to backtrack all the way back there, is just going to altar out and say, no, my search is going to continue elsewhere. And he does have enough ability points for Ultra Defense, but Tuin actually has not yet been down to Light Grenade tree. So yeah, he's going to spend some ability points here. Or maybe he's going to decide elsewhere to dig. Yeah, okay, here we go.
So double jump visit for a grotto visit for Tuin. And I wonder if this is just further farming. Infinite taking a little bit of a nip on those infinite damage spikes, as kind of his namesake spikes. Unfortunately, it's a funny quip, but they do just kill you. So
yeah, not much you can do about that. And yeah, so Infinite also continuing to check pickups in Hollow Grove. This could actually work out in his favor. Find Grenade, for instance, then he doesn't have to worry about Ultra Defense whatsoever, but very close to a level up as well. That's another way he can get an ability point just from finding it, and he might actually just be making the play here for Horu Fields to be able to check some pickups here. No, going in back into Moon Grotto.
We're getting the mapstone checks now. This is when you start to get a little paranoid, like what could it possibly be? And so you're going to throw in the mapstone checks. You're going to check everything you possibly can, which is going to include a lot of really crappy stuff, but that's what you gotta do. There's that wind restored for Infinite, and neither runner has seen Glide yet.
Oh god! All right, Tuin didn't back up his save before attempting the save drop, and so has to backload. Luckily, I was only to that Misty save, so that's really going to be a relief for him, and as he's going to be progressing back into the seed. But oh man, just like how much longer until Tuin decides to push the trees? Like, he does have the Sorrow Teleporter, so he has easy access to Charge Jump Tree, but maybe just not feeling comfortable with utilizing that quite yet.
Yeah, we'll see what he chooses to do. We're getting this Horu Fields check from Infinite, and we do also want to mention, again, a thing that would really save Infinite right now is being able to get Ultra Defense. He's currently at 5 ability points, and he needs 6 to be able to get both Triple Jump and Ultra Defense. So once he gets those, he could just confidently go into Swamp and take a swim, which is like 99.99% likely to be where that water vein is. But there's also the chance that's grenade blocked.
Yeah, I'm super hoping that grenade is in some weird place like Horu. That would just be so magical. With that being said, Tuin making the play for lower Blackroot. I don't believe we've seen Infinite go down here yet, so we'll keep an eye out to see if he does find that clutch pickup that is going to allow him to progress on with the seed. But yeah, sheer desperation from both far runners here. I mean, Infinite coming into Horu Fields, which is always like one of the last few places that you might check when you're looking for something. But he's had a pretty good cleanup so far. He's gotten a couple of health cells, and he also found health regen level 1 in another location. So getting that additional health may just allow him to bypass any necessity for being able to go through that swim section.
Did Infinite check the plant at the top of Horu Fields?
Yes, yeah, I used Charge Flame, and it was just like 120 something experience or something like that.
Okay, I'm used to seeing a lot of runners go the opposite order, so I had like looked away. There's Glide in Horu Fields. I mean, that doesn't. It's good, but it really doesn't help right now.
No, it really doesn't. And just energy regen for Infinite. But Glide's going to be nice. I mean, this opens up Sorrow if he wants to keep digging. Sorrow has pretty nice density, and with Climb Charge Jump, he's going to be able to get access to a lot of areas. And going for that high-density area like Sorrow is also going to be a nice play because, that's right, Dash could be in there. That sort of density kind of allots you for a higher degree of success.
I think there's also some other locations that are kind of often underrated.
Mhm.
The lower valley area on the way to Forlorn, it's actually pretty quick to navigate,
Yeah.
and gives you a fair few pickups. So that's one place that they could consider. Tuin now able to get into his grenade tree. He was able to do his zombie Ori to get through the laser, and now he's going to unfortunately have to throw away his last ability point. I think he might be accidentally closing his menu. But he's going to head on in and use his last ability point.
Oh, don't wait too long. Oh, was
I
that
think
too
he's
late?
okay. I think he's okay. Probably.
Right. Oh, please. Okay,
Yeah.
it's fine. Oh, that was so close. Oh, man.
So what were we so worried about, Muffin?
So he can accidentally enter the cutscene instead of skipping it by just not leveling up the ability point in too long. So that fade out section is when things start getting a little bit spooky. And then he has to do like a minute and a half or something of blind movement while the cutscene is playing out.
Yep, but we managed to avoid that. Infinite did a little bit of the lower valley farm, and then he pieced out without continuing towards Forlorn, most likely because, well, he has climb charged him, so he could have done that. And now is the moment, like, where do I go? What do I even do? They're both going to have it. Tuin's going to get his 9th tree in the near future because he's heading to Sorrow Pass. As Infinite is there as well. We're going to get a little bit of a high five, but where's Clean Water? Where's Grenade? Where's anything, Muffin?
Yeah, so now that we know that Glide is on the table with Wind Restored especially, well, Sorrow's in the picture, man. I think Sorrow's it. It has a lot of pickups in here, and even finding something like Dash or something else could be useful. But so far, so nothing. But keeping our eyes peeled on the left, as we also see Tuin doing progression through the tree, is really going to hint, when is Infinite's go mode?
Oh my goodness. This is such a weird... I don't know that I've ever seen a seed specifically turn out with both runners being blocked by not having Ultra Defense or Clean Water to go for a Dirty Water swim. Infinite literally only checked Spike Cave, and then he just alt-Rs out. I think this is... this is the point in the seed where when you end up in a situation like this, you see, kind of if a runner's able to maintain kind of composure. Oh, did he...
He has enough ability. Yes. Yep. Yeah, so now he has the 3 ability points he needs to spend for Ultra Defense, so he can actually survive that swimming section with ease, and also going up to a very hardy, looks like 11 max health with health regen, so that's 12 ticks of damage that he could take with normal health pool. He now has Ultra Defense to kind of double that. Poison Water only going to be dealing half the damage that it normally does.
Yeah, the Ultra Defense ability, it reduces the damage by 20%, which you think is like, oh, that's not really that much. But the nice thing is it rounds down. So it rounds to the nearest half. And as a result, it is possible to take a nice long swim. We're going to see Infinite make full use of that HP here. And the only question remaining is it here in the water or is it grenade blocked? First check is an energy cell.
All right, 3 more checks for Infinite before we give into total despair. Having Glide, though, and he knows where Forlorn teleported, it makes Forlorn escape a lot more manageable if he does decide to go for like some sort of grenade pickup. But just experience on the second one, as now Tuin is going to be heading on over to Swamp as well. He does have all of the trees now for Tuin, so he is also on the search for Water Vein.
So Infinite making good use of a technique where you take intentional deaths after making a save. So the save, thanks to blue tree abilities, gives you back 2 health. And if you take an intentional death, it immediately resets your save cooldown. The next pickup is just XP, Muffin. We got 1 more until we are grenade blocked.
Grenade gate this.
Oh my god.
These poor runners, dude. I just like, I know this is kind of cruel of me to be like, yes, grenade lock it, but come on, man, one time.
It is... Yes! Experience! It's grenade block! Wow.
Grenade, man. Oh, man. Oh, what a seed.
What do you even do? You don't have access to Forlorn, but you probably remember where the teleporter is. Do you go get that?
Does he remember?
Or do you farm for grenade, Muffin?
I would just go for Forlorn, man. I would just do it. You could bank on Sorrow having it, because he has dug a lot in other areas, but he also hasn't done the second half of Misty. He hasn't done Lower Valley on the way to Forlorn. He hasn't done Horu Field. I mean, he hasn't done Mount Horu itself, right? So there's a number of locations that could house Grenade, and I think it's going to be a lot less time on average to just make the play for Forlorn Escape. And it looks like Infinite does indeed remember where that Forlorn teleporter was.
All right, we're seeing Halcyon make the same Ultra Defense swim play. I think he's got a little bit less health, so it's a little bit dicier, but he should still be able to make all the checks, and he will get his information much more quickly than Infinite did. So this is really like the exact situation that Tuin needed. Basically, all the farming that he did early on that cost him a bunch of time, Infinite had to replicate, and as a result lost all the same time, and now they're here practically neck and neck. Tuin just needs to finish up this swim, and he's going to get the information he needs. But here goes Infinite. He's got Glide, and Tuin does not. It was in Horror Fields Muffin, so it's going to be unlikely he gets it.
Yeah, look at that nice health regen, saving Tuin there, so he's going to be able to make the hardest portion of the swim, and he's going to soon find out that indeed it's going to be Grenade Lock, because Tuin had some really nice cleanup as he was progressing through Swamp in the mid-game, so really, really crazy to see. And if Tuin makes that play, though, Vula, to not go for Forlorn Escape, because he doesn't have Glide, but, oh, wait, was that it? That's
wow, dude.
unbelievable. It's a Mapstone turn in all this time.
Wow. Tuin has 2 Mapstones, but he would need to think, let me go check 2 map monuments, and he doesn't have the Forlorn teleporter. He'd have to go back and get it, just as Infinite did. So this is a great, basically the perfect turn of events for Infinite. He has a really big advantage here as we're heading into the absolute last section. Just need to get that water vein, and then he's going to be good to go.
Yeah, and I can't believe I'm suggesting this for Tuin, but he actually does have all of the skills and the resources he needs to be able to do Forlorn Escape without Glide. It's really difficult. God. Yeah, it's really difficult, but it's definitely doable with triple jump, climb, charge, jump, grenade, and bash. It's just awful. So I hope he doesn't try and make that play, but he could.
I do want to say that I'm really impressed by both runners being able to remember that the Forlorn teleporter was in that specific spot. I mean, it sounds silly to say like, oh, good job, like remembering a thing, but that's way easier said than done when you're in the middle of, this is a 54-minute seed so far, remembering that like a variable number of minutes ago, you saw this one pickup in this one place, even if it was Forlorn teleporter. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, man, that type of compartmentalization is just so insanely difficult, especially like in the early and mid game. You're like, where's progression? Where's progression? Is this something I need? No. And then if you are like, no, then you have to continue to go through. But wow, all right, Infinite checked the Grenade Lock pickup. He sees the other one to the right of Swamp teleporter, so it's going to be like the last pickup in Swamp he checks.
The literal last one. It was right next to the Ginso tree the entire time. Gumo did not carry it very far at all, so Infinite's going to pick that up and head in the door.
Yeah, I mean, he locked it away for safekeeping right next to the door, and then, you know, went to his home, right? Went back to Forlorn to just deposit Grenade in there for our runner.
Of course, makes total sense.
Yeah, total. All right, Infinite is going to be heading on over. He's going to check the Stomp Cell first. This actually could be it. Oh, it was the Stomp Cell! Oh, man.
Are you kidding me? It wasn't even Grenade Lock.
Heckin' believable, dude.
Is there any way that would have been accessed? Oh, there's Tuin's grenade that he doesn't need.
Yeah. I just can't even, man. This
but he can grenade jump to the water vein now if he knows how to do that. So there you go. And he's teleporting himself.
Wait, is this race going to be insanely close? Oh, man. Come on.
Oh, my God, dude. I can't handle this. This is too silly.
This is so good. Yeah, he has Grenade Bash, so he is aware that he has this mechanic at his disposal as well. Let's see if he ends up checking the pickup.
Oh,
no, he's going to the rig. No, to it.
No. That's a shame. So he will not be getting that water vein for a little bit. He's got to go check the other 2 pickups and then probably remember that cell is there, and then he'll make his way over.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this is the thing about the compartmentalization aspect, right? You're so focused. You're like, oh, what's the one skill I need? Other grenade lock pickups and swamp, so it must be there. But also, kind of like in a grenade lock scenario, was that stomp cell, right? Infinite had glide wind restored, so that pickup kind of like toggles those neurons in his brain to be thinking of that pickup as well. But Dr. Tuin, yeah, is just gonna check the grenade lock pickup, find out it's not there, maybe have a momentary lapse of confusion, and then head on over to check the stomp cell.
Yep. So that's unfortunate for Tuin, but it's a pretty understandable thing to have happen. After all this time, you have been kind of focused on those specific pickups, and exactly as you said, you get grenade, and your brain kind of toggles that mode, like, oh, of course, it's grenade blocked, as you were kind of already thinking. So, in any case, that is going to mean that Infinite has basically it's his race to lose. He just needs to make his way now with Bash Tree collected, make his way to Mount Horu, and finish up this seed.
Yeah, infinite health, infinite energy, infinite skills. He's going to be able to make his way and progress to finish out his seed. And here we go. Dr. Tuin on the right, going to grab the pickup, seasons an ability cell, do some mouse movements, come back up here, charge jump up and over. Oh, he might think it is this this stomp gated pickup over here.
Well, he's got the new tech. If he knows how to use it, you can throw a grenade on this and bash off of it with a charge jump, and that will actually break it. It looks like he doesn't know it. Now, I know Tuin is roommates with Jay Halcyon, who actually invented the tech that I'm referring to, which is really, really cool. Halcyon in particular being like a pretty, comparatively newer member of the community. And Tuin being his roommate has probably learned a ton of stuff from him. But unfortunately, just this particular one, he's not quite sure.
Yeah, that's pretty tricky to be able to do that. And he's kind of glossed over some other ways that you can check that. On the left, Infinite is throwing in grenade jumps. Oh, yes, dude, this is saving so much time. Oh, give me more, dude.
Throwing away seconds to save fractions of seconds. That's the speedrunner way, dude. Oh, God. Oh, okay.
That was close. He was going for like a really, really hard one. It has like 2 or 3 angles, and there's like only 2 spots on that wall that you can be to make it work. It's just like, it's so good. It's so good. But yeah, just going for another backup grenade jump to make it over to the door.
I'm curious. Oh, no. Oh, no, Tuin.
Yes.
No, my friend.
Yes.
No, there's nothing worse than this. This is the worst possible thing. He's trying to use the mortar worm shot to break this floor, and that is like dang near impossible. It's so hard, dude.
Yeah, the mortar worm shots are really bizarre. Like every single projectile, after you bash off of it, like the acceleration properties of the shots are like all different, and like how they travel through space. And so these shots in particular are really, really rough because you get ahead of the mortar worm shot. However, it moves really, really fast. So it's just very easy to body yourself if you angle it. But he knows the trick. You angle the shot a little bit higher or at an acute angle with Ori. And, oh, man, yeah, this is brutal.
In any case, on Infinite's side, while Tuin is working on this very difficult trick, Infinite is currently working on the final escape, gets an ability cell, which is honestly kind of rude when you think about how long he was short ultra defense. But he's going to try for this Kuro spawn skip here so he can grenade jump across. I couldn't tell if he got it. Looks like he did, so
wow.
Very nice job by him.
Yeah, and also to set that up, you had to actually bash grenade over a trigger for a Kuro death timer, and he was able to skip over that. That's really not an easy trick whatsoever. So Infinite just really showing that he is comfortable with some of these more advanced strats. It's been a real pleasure to see him work through the seed.
Yep, and he will be coming up to the end here, taking a quick poison water swim with ultra defense. He's used to these by now, and with all these other skills that he's got, dash doesn't really matter. He can set up for his final grenade jump, save about 35 seconds on the final cutscene. Here goes the lineup and the inputs. Not quite right the first time. He'll take another go at it.
Not quite getting its second try either. as the fire begins to spread. The fire is completely fine. The ones at the top are cosmetic, and he gets over. GG Infinite. It's going to be holding right. Skipping that portion of the cutscene is going to allow him to finish out a little bit sooner, and he is going to be walking away here with a win, which is going to put him up with a win-loss average of 1-1 going into third round.
Yeah, but certainly for no lack of effort on Tuin's part, he has played this seed very well, and the funny thing is that early play where he was so thorough didn't end up helping him then, but you see how it can end up coming back to affect the seed much later on, and so it made the race actually very close when Infinite had to do that much farming. But unfortunately for Tuin, Infinite just able to remember that one pickup and get there after getting his grenade, hilariously enough. He finishes up with a time of 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 8 seconds.
GG Infinite, well played. Oh my goodness.
This trick is so stupid, dude.
Yeah, this is
say that.
This is so awful. Like, baiting the spider shot is a little bit longer, but it's also a lot easier as well to be able to work through. But something he could do here to make this a little bit easier is he could bash the shot vertically up, and then he could fall all the way down and then let the shot catch back up with him. But no, he's going to opt to altar, decide that he has reserved himself to more digging and is going to continue to progress through the seed. Or maybe he remembered that there was that one pickup for him to check in Swamp. So we will find out. No, he's going to dig, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's rough. It's understandable to not remember a pickup because particularly that one, he routed around that entire section of the map earlier. And what happens in your brain a lot is you'll kind of short circuit, like, yeah, I did that area, so I got the pickups. And unfortunately, in this particular case, he didn't have access to one of them.
Oh yes, Glazer, man. It wasn't here. Is this where Stomp is going to be? This is in logic for Stomp, so... Oh my goodness. Come on, man. One time. Yeah,
that
so
would be very interesting to pick the Stomp.
Yeah, there's also a bunch of like one-off pickups because they got charge jumped pretty early on. Like there's like an EXP pickup right by Wall Jump Tree that's really high up that they couldn't check. And then there's I can't remember. I don't think he's done the Spirit Caverns revisit yet. So a bunch of one-offs over here.
I remember seeing him go back to the Wall Jump Tree and check the right XP and then exit out. See who's coming in. So he did do that.
Oh, okay.
But he's got some options. He does have grenade now, so he can check some of the grenade pickups early in the game. He can charge up into those spikes, and he can continue searching.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I wonder if Mapstone 6 is in logic here for Stomp. I think it might be because of Horu. Like, you can just work your way up through Horu. Because Glide was in Horu Fields, and then you had Bash and Double Jump. And so I imagine getting up there, is in logic for Mapstone 5 or 6 or whatever it ended up being for that pickup. But
so we had Infinite pop into the Speed Gaming chat to share his thoughts about that seed, and basically it was, oh my god. Which, that's a big mood on this seed. Dr. Tuin claiming the 1 XP from the Lower Valley plant. Good stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to like make the play for Valley by just heading down towards Forlorn. Like, Forlorn can be in logic for this, but what could end up happening is the pickups right outside of Forlorn could be, because they do... Oh no, Stomp. No. For the pickup he's looking for, no, because I believe you do need Stomp, for logic.
Yeah, he's already got Grenade. I mean, Dash could be nice if he remembers that cell to the top left of Ginso. Then he will be able to get access to it if he has Dash. He might not know it's accessible with Bash Grenade. It might not be 100% true that he doesn't remember it exists. He might not realize it's accessible with Bash Grenade. But we can't say for sure, you and I.
Right, no, we can't.
We can't get in his brain.
Right, for sure. That would be weird. And slightly uncomfortable. But,
Channel our inner Sylar.
Yeah. Tuin making the play, using Grenade and Bash and Climb Charge Jump to be able to get into this area is going to check it. Could be maybe something at this Mapstone pedestal if he indeed only has turned in 5 Mapstones, but we will find out. momentarily. Just a keystone for that grenade pickup. Gonna be skipping the pedestal? No, he's gonna be going up, recognizing he has map stones, and bashing the baneling there isn't too difficult of a task, so gonna be maybe making the play.
Man, not having glide for some of these areas is just kind of a big annoyance. It's not it's not hard. It's just really annoying. You wish you had it. You wish you could just press right trigger, press shift, plus whatever you got by glide bound to, and just float on those wind currents. But nope, can't do it.
Nope. I imagine too. There's like some ghosting of the finger, right? Being like just instinctively pressing shift or whatever your bind is to activate glide. I know I do that all the time whenever I do too many rando seeds. Oh man. But yeah, here we go. We're going to see exactly where Tuin decides to go next. He's kind of looking around the map at the various teleporters. This is a good indication of, oh, where should I go? And he's heading back over to Grotto. So maybe he's going to try a different approach for breaking that floor, or maybe he's just going to continue digging onto Grotto.
Well, hopefully he won't do the spider thing that Infinite did, because that was just god-awful. But as I say that, he sure is heading over this direction. Okay, he's leaving the spider shot. Good. Good, do that. Leave that behind.
Yeah, maybe he got another idea for what this pickup could be. Or, excuse me, a different way to get this pickup. Or maybe he's just said, okay, I had a nice little break, so I'm going to just end up giving this another go.
He might have recalled the Halcyon grenade. Oh, there it is. Yes, there it is, dude. That is awesome tech. Unfortunately, the item that he gets is garbage, but the tech is really cool, and that's what matters.
Yeah, and so some Visible just standing there, a little bit of confusion, maybe not knowing which pickups he has and has not checked yet for Swamp, but it looks like he's in motion now to maybe work his way back out.
This is so hard, Muffin. When you've written off this kind of one location, it's so hard to remember that it's there and make that play to get back to it. Like right now, yeah, he's checking under the water. They're like, did I forget this one? And it's really tough.
Yeah, and I think this is like one of the most difficult things, regardless of how many seeds you've actually practiced, is just remembering which things you have checked, which things you have not. He's going to activate the lasers here. Looks like he is heading on over in this direction towards the Hologrove area, so he might have some indication that that pickup up there is going to be the one he is indeed looking for. Whoops, taking a little bit of a death there. And he's going to teleport to Swamp, Yeah, he knows. He knows, dude.
Whew, you can see how rough it can be in Randomizer, because you just forget one location for a little bit of time, and what could have been basically a race separated by about 40 seconds, unfortunately for Tuin, turns into a race separated by over 7 minutes, and that's the reality of Randomizer. It's going to happen sometimes. You're going to have that mistake where you mentally write off a location, and then you're just sad. You're really, really sad.
Yeah. Very, very sad. And now Tuin getting access to Ginso Tree. He's going to have some nice quick cleanup of this area before heading to and doing a final escape of his own. GG. And that was like, I really do want to like go back and make the point again that this race was actually insanely close. If Tuin had just remembered that pickup was in Swamp and that pickup was there and he had access to it, Infinite had like basically just entered Ginso Tree. And so he was really, really close behind in that instance. So the times here that we're seeing on the timers definitely don't reflect the story of the race.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier how the fact that Tuin had been very comprehensive early on had kind of made it so that Infinite had to spend a lot of time catching up to him. Yeah. But also that might have caused some of Tuin's problems at the end, because of the fact that he had gone through all those areas. He had gone through that, particularly that big main room of Swamp where the Ginso Tree door is. Because he'd done that, he might have mentally written off that location. And so, it's really tough to say like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, right? But that's just rando.
Yeah, exactly. And so like even now, like trying to go for that weird sequence break to check that stomp gated pickup in Swamp, and eventually being like, oh wait, like I remember there is a different way that I could do to check this pickup. It's just so impressive to see from Tuin as well. It's like after you've written off a certain pickup or something, be like, I don't have what I need to do this pickup. It's very, very difficult to be able to think through. It's like, okay, what are all the areas I've been to? Okay, what areas still have pickups? Which of these pickups could actually be in logic for Stomp, right? And then, as a newer rando player, right, he started like a week or something before the tournament kicked off. Just, oh my goodness.
I think for two, it was more like a month.
Oh, okay.
I'm drawing a bit of confusion between all the various
Yeah.
newer runners, but yeah, I think two, he did a lot of like kind of cramming with his roommate Jay Halcyon, who has
Wow.
helped him learn a whole bunch of stuff, and I think Tuin has also come up with a bunch of stuff and helped Halcyon learn as well. They're both really impressive players, and you know, it almost kind of sucks to see like, oh man, he's going down 0-2, but you know, I think within these the remaining 3 matches that Tuin has, we're going to see some impressive stuff coming from him.
Yeah, it's like there is a list of these newer runners as they're coming in, right? And they're like, oh, like we'll see what ends up happening. Like my first matchup was against Luster, as just a quick side note, and he had just a really impressive second round match, and it's just so impressive to see runners like Tuin just come and pick up the rando just weeks before the tournament and just put on a display like this. Just so insane to me.
Getting up to that Baneling wall there in Horu, and you know, he goes to do the stomp. It's like, not in this seat. You don't have stomp in this one. That's such a typical thing to do, though.
Oh, the charge!
I love it.
What is this? What? I've never thought to do that. That's genius.
And then the block.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's fantastic. Yeah, I really love that cleverness by Tuin, thinking of using the charge flames to reflect those projectiles away. I mean, they've had explosion power upgrade for ages, so you know, he was able to make use of those for free to just give himself some time and space to do a grenade jump.
And like even without explosion upgrade, right? He has like what, 7 energy, and it's gonna be half cost, and he doesn't have dash, so no real point to be able to hold on to that energy. I'm stealing that, man. That's gonna make like the warrior grenade jumps like so much easier, as well as like some other ones.
All right, we're on everyone's favorite trick, Muffin. It is door warp, the frame perfect reload trick. You can see his mouse slightly shaking as he is probably using the scroll wheel to try to input a first frame entry of that door, which then will cause him to teleport to the end.
Yeah. Here it is. He presses the button and is able to wrong warp to the very end of the dungeon. Nicely done from Tuin. That trick is 1/60th of a second of a key press, and you don't have like vision of Ori or like anything, so it's kind of wild because there is this fade in effect for the timing itself. But nicely done from Tuin to get that. I'm terrible at door warp, and I've been running this game for like a year.
I don't know that there's anyone that is like 100% confident in their door warp. I've had times where I've been, but it's a hard trick. So we got Tuin going through the final escape. He is making use of all his skills. That timing to get that climb charge jump there before Kuro kills you is actually very challenging. So great job by Tuin getting that off, making use of a bash grenade to help him a little bit. And just a little bit of the escape to go here. Muffin with most of these skills in his possession. This isn't too bad.
Yeah, nicely done. Just a little bit low on that angle there on the grenade jump to be able to get through, but makes it over to the wall and has plenty of health. Doesn't have clean water, but has ultra defense, and he's able to get into the water. Without stomp there or dash, it actually is pretty tight timing to be able to make it through that death timer corridor. But here we go. Tuin does not have glide, so he has to end up triple jumping up. Oh, doesn't quite miss it, but is able to hook back to the left to try this again. And he gets it on the 3rd try. That was his last possible try to be able to nail that trick before the fire kills him. And now he's going to be bashing up the rocks. Oh, one more bat. Oh, nope. He's going to be doing the grenade jump and gets it first try. GG Tuin.
What? Where's that position?
Yeah, that was really low, wasn't it?
Did that work?
That worked. That did the thing. He got over the
Yeah,
trigger.
he got the entire skip. Wow. That was incredibly low. How did that work?
I am now going to like set up a debug save and just try out that position. I'm very curious.
Oh man. Anyway, GG to Tuin. Great recovery there, and in the final escape, as you were describing, his attempt to get past the Kuro trigger without feather, and he managed to make a very nice recovery twice on missing the strat there. But there it is. He finishes up with the coveted sub 116. 115.59.98.
Yeah, coming down to the literal frame there. GG from Tuin, and nicely well played. But we are not done with Ori action for today, folks. We actually have a ton of matches coming up. And in fact, in 10 minutes from this very moment, we're going to be bringing you an exciting doubles race of Aiko and Skullbwaka versus Sigma and Raziel. I cannot wait to watch that. It's going to be a very exciting match, Fula.
That's right. That is the teams of Duo Leaves versus That Is Still Faster. Of course, That Is Still Faster, the returning champions of the previous doubles tournament. So Duo Leaves going to have their work cut out for them. In the meantime, this race, quite an exciting thing to watch, kind of unexpectedly based on Infinite's early lead, but with Tuin's more comprehensive checks paying off when that Sunstone location came down to the Stomp Cell, as it's sometimes called. Infinite still managing to eke out a victory. Very good performance at the end. Going to 1-1. Tuin falling to 0-2, but he will have 3 more opportunities to get his wins needed to be able to make the bracket. In the meantime, Muffin, pleasure joining you today. I look forward to the rest of these matches.
Thanks, Fula. Stay tuned on this very Speed Gaming channel, guys, Speed Gaming Fork, and we will bring you the action in just a couple of minutes.